Hello to all my dear students. So students, I'm going to start the second chapter of statistics, that is meaning, scope and importance of statistics. Now in this chapter you're going to learn the basic introduction of the chapter, meaning of statistics, functions of statistics, importance of statistics and limitation. So let us see first of all what is statistic. What does actually statistics mean? Now the word statistics seems to have derived from the Latin word status, or the Italian word statista, or the German word statistic, or the Greek word statistic, each of which means the political state. So the word statistics has been derived from different words: Latin word status, Italian word statista, or the German word statistic, or the Greek word statistic, which means a political state. The word statistics conveys different meaning to different people. Yes, statistics has different meaning to different people. Some just regard it as data, some say it's a facts, or some say it's a measurement, but while other believes it to be study of figures. Now the views commonly held about statistics are numerous but often incomplete. Let us consider some examples. For a cricket fan, it is just referred to numerical information or data relating to runs scored by a cricketer. For an environmentalist, it refers to information on the quantity of pollution or other harmful gases in the atmosphere. For the weather department, it's just about the information about minimum and maximum temperature, timings of sunrise, sunset, etc. And for a share broker, it is just information on change in share prices over a period of time, and so on. So different people view statistics differently. So as seen here, that the views commonly held about statistics are numerous. That means there are numerous views. Numerous means many views, but often incomplete. So let us see. The average person perceives statistics as a column of figures, various types of graph, tables and chart showing the changes in different types of data. So basically statistic is viewed as a graph, table and chart. That means the data are presented in the form of graphs, tables and chart. In the early years, the scope of statistics was primarily limited to collection of data for determining the economic and social condition of the people living in different parts of the country. So earlier, what was the scope of statistics? It was limited. It does not have vast scope and widened scope. The scope was limited just to collection of data only and determining the economic and social condition of people living in different parts of the country. So statistic was not viewed at that level. Now it is viewed at. So statistics is now viewed as a different branch or different subject. But earlier statistics was just a word with a precise meaning and carrying sense different people differently. But with the passage of time, the scope of statistics widened. As I told you that now statistics has vast scope, is widened. It's not just limited to certain areas. For some time, statistics was regarded as a branch of economics, but now it has become a full-fledged independent subject. And in the present time, statistics is not only a science of the state, but it also includes all type of quantitative analysis. What is quantitative analysis? You can see the term here, quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis means everything which can be expressed in number is called quantitative analysis. Okay, quantitative variables are those variables which can be expressed in numerical terms, which can be expressed in numbers. So statistics deals with all the kinds of all types of numerical data. Now, what is quantitative variable and what is qualitative variable? Now, quantitative, that means the variables which can be expressed in numbers, and qualitative, it cannot be expressed in numbers. This is related to quality of a person. For example, someone's beauty, honesty. These are the traits of person. These cannot be expressed in quantity. That is quality. So qualitative variables are those variables which cannot be expressed in numerical terms, and quantitative variables can be expressed in numerical terms. Yes, qualitative variables sometimes can be ranked. It cannot be expressed in number, but it can be ranked. Most intelligent rank number 1, then second rank number 2, second best, third good student rank third. So like this it can be ranked, but when it is ranked, then it has got numerical aspect. At that time, during statistical analysis, we can use the data. Otherwise, qualitative characteristics is not a part of statistic. So hope quantitative variable, qualitative variable is clear to you all. Now we will see meaning of a statistic. What is actually meaning of a statistic? This was just an introduction of stats or statistic. Now we are going to see meaning of statistics. Now let us see meaning of statistics. It is not easy to define statistics in a precise manner. That means precise means short. We cannot define statistics in a very short or easy way. Statistics have been defined differently by different writers from time to time. That means the meaning of statistics has been changing from time to time, and it has been defined by different writers as per their convenience, emphasizing precisely the meaning, scope, and limitation of the subject. Some authorities have defined statistics as statistical data. Statistical data means statistics in plural sense, whereas other has defined statistics as statistical method, that is singular sense. So these statistics can be defined in two senses, plural sense and singular sense. When we talk about plural sense, we are talking about statistical data, and we are talking about singular sense, that means we are talking about statistical methods. So in plural sense, it means collection of numerical facts, whereas in singular sense, statistics deal with the method. The methods are collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of the quantitative information. Okay, so statistics can be defined as the two senses I told, plural and singular. Plural, statistical data, numerical information; singular sense, statistical method. Now let us see statistics as numerical set of data or plural sense. In the plural sense, statistics refer to aggregates of facts. That means there is aggregates of facts. Single figure cannot be counted in statistics. It is affected to a marked extent by multiplicity of causes, numerically expressed, enumerated or estimated according to reasonable standard of accuracy, collected in a systematic manner for predetermined purpose and placed in relation to each other. For example, data relating to aggregate percentage of 5 toppers of 12th class of a school. So that means statistics in numerical sense or a plural sense can be defined as aggregates of facts. Aggregates of facts means there is not a single figure or isolated figure. There are many figures affected to a marked extent by multiplicity of causes. There must be various causes behind those factors. Then it must be numerically expressed, enumerated or estimated according to a reasonable standard of accuracy. It must have some standards of accuracy. It must be collected in a systematic manner for predetermined purpose and should be placed in relation to each other. Now we will see characteristics or features of statistic in plural sense. Now we are going to study the different characteristics and features. Let us see. Statistics as used in plural sense must possess the following characteristics. As we have studied in definition right now, it is aggregate of facts affected by multiplicity of causes, numerically expressed, should be collected with reasonable standard of accuracy, collected for a predetermined purpose, are collected in systematic manner, and should be placed in relation to each other. Now we are going to see all these characteristics one by one. So aggregates of facts, as I told you that statistics are number of facts. There are various number of facts. This is not related to single or isolated figures. Cannot be compared. For example, a single age of 30 years is not a statistic, but a series relating to the ages of groups of persons will be called a statistic. So here there must be a series of number. A single number cannot be determined as a statistic. Note, a single figure of course can be called statistics when it is represented as an average or as a sum of various observations. For example, say average mark 75, then it is statistic. But when you have to calculate average, one number cannot be considered for taking out average. So in statistics, we definitely see the number, series of numbers. We take out average, we take out mean, we take out median, mode, etc. That we will study later. So hence, a single figure cannot be considered. Height can be considered in one case when it is mean, when it is average marks, etc. Affected by multiplicity of causes. Numerical figures data are influenced by variety of factors. There are various factors which determine the numerical figures or data. It is not an easy job to study the facts of any one factor separated by ignoring the other factors. That means we cannot study the data of facts ignoring other factors. We have to consider all the factors behind that. For example, let us see an example. Statistic of production of a crop. Say rice is affected by rainfall, fertilizers, seeds, masses of cultivation, etc. it is not possible to study separately the effect of each of these forces on the production of rice. So hence we consider all the factors, all the causes. There are multiplicity of causes behind any numerical figure or data. Statistics are numerically expressed. You all know this is quantitative analysis. It is numerically expressed. Now the statistics approach to a subject is numerical. So any fact to be called statistics must be numerically or quantitatively expressed. For example, Isha is taller than Molly and Ananya will not be called statistics unless we express them in their height in centimeters. Okay, like Isha 154 centimeter, Molly 120. So likewise, this can be called a statistic. Now, qualitative characteristics like intelligence, beauty, honesty, etc. cannot be included in statistics unless they are quantified by assigning certain scores as quantitative measures of assessment. As told that qualitative characteristics cannot be considered as a statistic. When we rank them or when we assign some numbers as associated, then it is considered in statistic. Statistics should be collected with reasonable standard of accuracy. In a statistics, data is collected with reasonable standard of accuracy. High degree of accuracy as observed in accountancy or mathematics is not insisted upon in statistics because mass of data is involved. So high degree of accuracy can't be observed in accountancy or mathematics because there are number of data, there's a mass of data which is involved. The process of generalization can be achieved with a reasonable standard of accuracy only. So hope the features are clear. Now let us see the next feature. Statistics are collected for a predetermined purpose. That means the purpose is predefined. Why we are collecting the data? What is the purpose of collecting this data? The purpose of collecting statistical data must be decided in advance. Otherwise, it will lack its usefulness. Otherwise, usefulness of the data collected will be negligible or it will lack. So data collected in unsystematic manner and without complete awareness of the purpose will be very confusing and cannot be made on the basis of valid conclusion. One cannot reach to the valid conclusion why we have collected the data if the purpose is not determined earlier. So it must have predetermined purpose, that why we are collecting the data, what is the reason behind this. It must be well defined. Statistics are collected in a systematic manner. Yes, there must be a manner of collecting data. It must be collected in a systematic manner or method. If the figures are collected in a haphazard manner, then it will be not reliable. The reliability of the data will deteriorate. So for accuracy or reliability of data, the figures should be collected in systematic manner. Statistics should be placed in relation to each other. Collection of statistical data is generally done with the motive to compare. Basically, we collect the data, and statistical data is generally done with motive to compare. There are certain comparisons which has to be done. If the figures collected are not comparable, they will lose their part of significance. That means it will lose its importance. The purpose of comparison, it is necessary the data must be homogeneous. So for the purpose of comparison, it is necessary the data must be homogeneous. For example, you have to compare the students on the basis of maths mark. So they must be homogeneous, means everyone maths mark should be there. It is not that you are having 3 students English mark, 2 students maths mark. So it is of no use. It won't be helpful. For example, it will be meaningless to compare the heights of men with the heights of trees because these figures are heterogeneous character, 2 different characters. Such figures do not come under the category of statistics. Now next is statistics as a method, that is statistics in singular sense. In singular sense, we already know that statistics is as defined as a method. So let us see. Statistics in singular sense may be defined as the collection, presentation, analysis and interpretation of numerical data. So the given definition covers the following important features. What are the features? Collection of data, presentation, analysis and interpretation. Okay, we will see this collection. So how the statistical data is collected and organized, all this thing. So the first stage 1 is first data should be collected, then it should be organized, organization of data should be done, then presentation of data, then analysis of data and finally interpretation of data. Collection of data, it is the main and first step in a statistical inquiry. The technique of collection of data depends upon the objective of the study. When one start collecting the data, so he know that what is the objective of the study of this data. From the very beginning the objective is clear, then the data is collected. Then comes organization of data. After collection, the data is organized in a proper form which involves editing and classification. Presentation of data. After classification, the data is presented in some suitable manner in the form of text, table, diagram or graph. For example, your tabulation sheet. You give your assessment test, okay, periodic test, any test, and you see that the data is collected, the marks are collected, then it is organized subject wise, then it is presented in certain tabular form. And then finally, analysis is done. After presentation of data, analysis is done with the help of simple mathematical technique. This measures include central tendency, measure of dispersion, correlation, and regression. This all method you'll be studying later in the subjects. This all are mentioned in a book, so you will studying later. We'll come to know about this later. Then comes interpretation of data. Okay, you can see the interpretation of data. Okay, final step or last step. It is the last step of statistical methodology. It involves statistical thinking. One has to think statistically. Skill and experience is required to derive meaning from the analyzed data. The interpretation provides the final conclusion drawn from the analyzed data. That means now one can conclude the data. One can come to the conclusion from the above data and its study. Now coming to plural sense versus singular sense. Now we will see the difference between the plural sense or singular sense. That means the method, okay, the different methods, statistics as method and statistics as number. How it is different. Statistics in plural sense deals with numerical information, whereas in singular sense, statistics is the body of various methods and tools. Here there are various methods and tools are involved, and here just numerical information is there. Statistics in plural sense is a bit descriptive in nature, but in singular sense, it is basically a tool of analysis. In this analysis system, it is one of the tool of analysis, and here it is a bit descriptive in nature. Statistics in plural sense is often the raw state. Raw state means it is not finally meant to come to the conclusion. It is in raw state, whereas in singular sense, it has in processing the raw data. Now from that raw data, it has in processing the raw data. Statistics in plural sense is quantitative, but in singular sense it is an operational technique. So hope it is clear. Operational technique, why? Because method is involved, and quantitative because number is involved. So hope this is clear to you all. Now in my next video you will study about the functions of statistics. Well, there is given one line: empirical analysis and quantitative analysis. Just go through the meaning of empirical and quantitative. Empirical analysis refers to a method in which subject is studied on the basis of observation of experiments. Here the subject is studied on the basis of observation or experiment, but in quantitative analysis it is an attempt to level precision to the facts so that can be easily compared. Under it, first of all the facts are expressed in form of quantities like 25, 30, 35, and then such numerical data is classified, tabulated or analyzed to draw reasonable. That means in quantitative analysis the numerical method is followed, and empirical analysis, this is just studied on the basis of observation of experiments. Here knowledge is acquired as a result of actual experience, and under natural science known as physics, chemistry and biology, this method is commonly used as relevant law, and the statements can be tested and experimented in laboratories. So this is basically one of the method of observation. Here it deals with observation, and here it deals with the comparison, the numbers. So empirical analysis and quantitative analysis is quite clear to you all. Now in my next video you will see functions of statistics, importance, etc.